Well, let's call this meeting to order. This is the Surrey County Economic Development and Ag Committee meeting. Let's do a roll call for prosperity. Mr. Betcher? Here. Mr. Duffy? Here. Ms. Taylor and Mr. Miller are not present. Madam Clerk, are we in compliance with open meeting laws?
We are.
The agenda has been presented. Is there any modifications or changes to the agenda the committee would like to have considered? Hearing none, moving on to public comments. Is there anybody here or who is virtual that wishes to address the committee that's not on the agenda? Ms. Zilmer.
Good morning, Linda Zilmer, property owner, Town of Edgewater. I just wanted to thank UW Extension for some of the virtual program that they are starting to provide, and I hope to see more. Last week, I received an email from a friend letting me know about the Strong Bodies program that is being held in our area virtually Monday and Wednesday morning. I think it's good public health benefit, as well as I can see it will provide some social opportunities for people who are, staying at home because of circumstances. So thank you, and I hope that Extension finds a way to get programs like this, the information out more broadly, and I think there'd be a lot more attendance. Thank you.
Anybody else who wishes to address the committee? Anybody else? We got their hands raised. All right, moving on now to the minutes from the previous meeting. Has the committee had a chance to review the minutes?
Yeah, I move we approve them.
So I have a motion for Mr. Duffy.
I'll second it.
I have a second for Mr. Betcher. In discussion, is there any comments on the motion or on the minutes? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Moving on to number 6, Surrey County Agricultural Fair Association report. Do we have anybody here from Surrey County Fair?
Jan Snyder is online.
Jan, do you have anything you wish to report? Hearing none, moving on to number 7, UW Extension Department report. Ms. Beltros, the floor is yours.
All right, good morning. Thank you. I won't take much of your time because Rika is going to be presenting to you this morning. I do see that Jan maybe is trying to connect to audio, so if she pipes in, I'll be glad to take a second seat if you want to go back to her too. But so yeah, Linda mentioned Strong Bodies. That is something that the FoodWise groups, Bridget Rongner and Kim Clark, are working on and really doing that area wide. So it's a little bit of a pilot to do it this way, but we do have weights that the team has been giving out to people to use for this class. So we are thankful that things are moving along virtually. I'll also let you know that Sky Holt has been working on a well-connected communities grant with LCO College Extension, as well as creating some opportunities for projects for 4-H over the last few months. So again, I don't want to take too much of the time because I want to be able to give the floor to Ariga so that she can let you know about community development. We did have the opportunity to present to the Tribal Governing Board last month, and so she has a presentation that she'd like to share with you this morning too. So take it away, Ariga.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure I don't talk to myself. And you have a file that I shared with you. This is pretty much what I've done in 2020. And this is an ongoing program. I just wanted to include some of the goals that are within these programs. If you look at local foods, there are two main programs that I do. They are local food program related programming, and I wrote the ultimate would be, again, economic development programming in county. It just depends how we all get there. There are different venues, and I happen to find partnerships and strength in focusing more on local food programs that leads to, again, community development, economic development. And the ultimate goal of this program for me would be if we end up having a commercial kitchen somewhere, or accelerator for entrepreneurs, or a processing facility. So that's the ultimate goal that would lead for economic development. And then again, we have farmers markets. That also, we have stronger farmers markets, we have stronger economies, we have more events, we have more vendors, we have more food that will be sold within the county. So it's also, again, economic development, and this is the route that happened to fall for my programming. If you scroll down, I have stated some of the impacts that we had. Again, I focused more on farmers market, and I know Hayward Farmers Market for 2 years wants to move to a new location, and they're looking into what the move will be. Is it going to cost them anything? Will there be any loss related to move? Because people shop by habits, so that all needs to be considered, whether vendors can do different days. And so those are all questions that are being evaluated with the move to a bigger location and having a bigger event. And as you know, this year with COVID, in summer, it was really, really crazy. The farmers markets were all successful events. There were a lot of people shopping local, and a lot of course, tourists that visited the county also participated in purchasing from farmers markets. And I will be sending out the last survey for measuring the economic impact of local foods in Surrey County. This was a SARE grant I received in 2017 that involved various stages of measuring what's the impact of local foods in Surrey County and LCO. And then we will have a overall Zoom local food summit that is being currently planned with the state and LCO College. And as you see, there were some grant writing that I've done. Of course, the first one was written in 2020. The last ones were in previous years, but we reapplied for the second one this year, of course, with some editing and some tweaking. And that was a partnership with Menominee College. We didn't get funded, but it was a good effort, and we keep trying. So the second one is organizational development and leadership. And under these programs, again, we have stronger local organizations that lead to stronger economies. If we have strong organizations, there will be more people that will be hired. And even so, if we have stronger organizations, we will have more entrepreneurs going into some business fields, depending on what their passion is and if they want to convert that passion into a business. And then we offered under this program, I offered different programming that is strategic planning. I've done some strategic planning with Barron County, and as you know, it was a county-wide strategic plan, and I just finalized it in the end of this month. In fact, I just remembered I should share the final document with you as they approve, to just have an idea of how it may look. And then we offered grant writing classes. As you can see, with COVID, local organizations went into a lot of financial assistance. There were questions: how do you apply for this application? How do we apply for this grant? So in partnership with LCO College, we offered three classes, and the last one is coming up. We pushed it back because people get busy, tend to be busy in December, so we wanted more participants, and especially from neighboring tribal communities that would help LCO College with their student numbers. And so, yeah, I continue offering strategic planning throughout all the years of my program that would help organizations find their direction for the next coming 2, 5, or 10 years, and kind of have a plan of what they're going to do on that strategic planning note. For leadership, I'm trying to plan something that would be county-wide, because there are different questions that come up. How do we address workforce? How do we address housing? How do we address all those questions can be answered through a leadership program, or can be not even answered but even investigated, or through leadership program we could bring outside speakers, for example, from successful communities, and share some of their results of how things were done, and so that the participants in the program could come up with some tangible solutions, or even some ideas that could be used for Sawyer County. So this is just a leadership program will help us bring the brain drain sort of people together, and not step on the toes, of course, of local organizations of what they do, but perhaps if we have a bigger project, we will have a variety of solutions on the table that came up from this program. Again, we don't have to do that, but it will help the community to learn how to work together, what are the needs, what could be the solutions. And of course, in everyday changing environment, the solutions also change. And we also have to focus on what is the priority for this area. Who would ever think that internet perhaps would be one of the main priorities right now due to COVID. So things that are in real life circumstances can also affect some of the programming. So this is what I wanted to share. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but this is just a brief summary of what I shared with LCO and what I have been doing and continue to do. I do have some of the continuous goals stated, and what I really focus is some of the elements of my work focus on creative economy, bringing that creativity from the community and boosting that entrepreneurship, arts and crafts. Of course, that's not my field, but if someone would be interested in establishing a business in that field, extension will be the assistance, the facilitator of this process. So these are just, this is just the overview. Thank you. I'll stop here.
Any questions for Riga?
Actually, I have one. This is Jesse Betcher. If you could just, I guess I'm a little confused about it seems like you're really pushing the creative economy. You know, you said creative entrepreneurship leading to creative economy. And I'm just curious, here in the Sawyer County, which is, you know, tourism based, you know, we have our lodging and our restaurants and bars and fishing, you know, boat services and stuff like that. I'm just wondering what percentage of the economy are you looking at right now for this creative economy, the arts and crafts and stuff like that? Like, what percentage do you estimate we are at right now? And are you trying to increase that percentage here in our tourist-based county?
Sure. Who's asking the question? I'm so sorry.
Jesse Betcher.
Okay, Jesse. So I don't really focus on arts and crafts, but creative economy concept is to bring the entrepreneurship out from the community. So even the tourism can be considered elements of creative economy. Actually, it is a big chunk of it. So it's a concept. So people who want to go, let's say, and market their product, it can be canned food or packaged deer meat or wild rice, for example, in local foods. If we look at it, that could be something that people came up with their own ideas, perhaps converted the hobby into a business. And the same will be with tourism. So if someone has a small Airbnb is a great example that came up as an element of creative economy in tourism industry. So people who have these ideas, even technology, Uber, all those are elements of creative economy. So people who have these ideas that will be different, will be unique, and will create some business, create some markets. So that would be an example of that. And tourism is if you have a unique product selling in Surrey County, it doesn't matter what it is, people that can become a destination. And a great example of that in local foods is the farm of the Berlages farm. That is a destination. So if we have, let's say, local foods, a couple of businesses like that, and it is a destination for tourists to come and experience Surrey County as a unique place where they can't find anything like that anywhere, that is an element of creative economy. So it's just a concept, but it's something that I would like to see in the community. And I have people who have wonderful ideas and come with business ideas, and the problem is how we get them there. How do we facilitate that process as a community to get these individuals where they want to be in business industry? So it has all range of fields. It can be tourism, economic development, it can be housing. Recently, I've seen a really interesting housing thing and also tourism related. People build these beautiful cabins in Wisconsin, and it's actually on TikTok. And it's a destination, and it's really, really highly advertised, the cabins that have this unique architecture. So that is an element of creative economy too, just to name a few examples. And I tend to focus because I know that it can boost that uniqueness in the community and bring up the cream of the crop and those ideas, and how do we really deliver that to our tourism, to our public, to our own residents to experience. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Sounds good. I like it.
Any other for Riga? Riga, on page 10 of your document, you have a typo that I would hope that you can correct. It's called the LCO Community College. Can you delete community because that's no longer the proper title for the college? The LCO College is the accepted abbreviation or accepted nickname for the college.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I just noticed. Thank you. I will fix that. Mm-hmm.
Anybody in the audience that wishes to ask any questions of Riga? Anybody?
No.
All right, thank you for your report. Moving on to number 8, Hayward Lakes Visitors and Convention Bureau. Sherry, are you online with us?
Unmute. Oh, there we go. I was going to say I couldn't unmute, but there I am. Okay. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to talk about some interesting things about lodging. I haven't got all the room tax numbers in yet, so I don't have that finalized yet. But talking to some of the lodging members, there wasn't as much. There wasn't a large lodging pool because some of the second homeowners were using their properties for their own use and working from their cabins instead of renting out the property. And they've also, quite a few have sold, and private people are buying some of that property that they're not going to rent next summer. So it will be interesting to see how things shift. But we did learn that they were here longer. They came in May and they were here through October. So we're thinking the numbers are going to actually be really good. But I should be able to finalize that in the end of this month. I just want to let you know some of the things we've been up to. The fall color report was a huge success. We have to report 2 or 3 times a week and tell people, what the conditions are like. And so they'll drive up here and take a peek at the fall color. And we had a 51% increase in the page views from a year ago. So, people were looking to do things outside, and we were a place they're going to check out. So that was really good news. Our new 2021 vacation guides are here. So if anybody wants one, they can come down and get it. Otherwise, it's online. You can look at it virtually. We have 50 in a box, just to let you know that. We're working on a few things. We're doing the big bundle up. We're collecting some charity items for the schools, hats, mittens, and jackets and boots. And it's amazing. We've gotten a lot of donations, so that's really good to know. The Northwest ITBEC is the 11 county marketing that I work with. And we put together an outdoor guide that includes all silent sports. So hiking, biking, cross-country skiing, all of that. And that is it's in pre-press right now, and it'll hopefully be delivered in February. I took a couple classes, which kind of just keeping us updated on all the changes and all the things that are happening and making sure we're doing what we should be doing to reach the right people. I received a grant for that, sledding in Sawyer County. And that promotion has just been going crazy. So we just need the snow. Otherwise, it's been going really well. Then going into the snow condition report. So with that same thing is kind of the fall color report. So with snow condition report, we have to go in there a couple times a week and we update cross-country skiing trail. And we also update snowmobile trail conditions. So we keep people in the loop on when they can come and start enjoying our trails. Sport shows is a whole nother animal right now. Most of everything is being canceled. I have a few that are going to be virtual, and I have a couple that have not officially canceled, but we decided we got to capture those people because we used to go to we used to be in their neighborhood and talk about our destination. And so what we're going to do it's called Facebook Live. And so we're going to start doing that in January, and we're hoping to capture some of that sports show audience. And it's going to be like a contest. If they ask questions, then they can go in and get eligible to win a prize. We're going to have different guests from around the area that can speak specifically to certain activities that people do here, and then they can ask direct questions. And so we're going to try that, and hopefully that will go well. Also, to let you know, and I don't know how many of you know, Secretary Meany, she was the Department of Tourism designee, did resign. So she is taking a job in Milwaukee, so she will be leaving us. And so Deputy Secretary Ann Sayer will be taking over her role until they figure out what they're going to do from that. And then we got lots of great PR. Which is on that report if you wanted to read that. So any questions on tourism?
Any questions?
Well, I don't know what ITBEC is. Does everybody else know except me?
Yeah. Sherry, can you explain what?
Sure. It's the name is kind of a weird name, and we've asked for them to change it, but they can't. So we're the northwest part of the state. There's 4 sections. And it stands for International Trade, Business, and Economic Council. So, there's 11 counties in the northwest corner here, and we work together and do some things. We each pitch in $3,000, and then we have a little pool of money, and then we work on things together. And one of the things we do is the trail guide, the outdoor trail guide, which is silent sports. We do a map for power sports. So we have ATV on one side and snowmobile on the other. And it can get you from all 11 counties. It's just a corridor map. Doesn't have all our little trails on it, but will get you from Washburn County to Bayfield County through Sawyer County. And then we do some advertising that is expensive. Like with the Department of Tourism, we take out a full page in the attractions guide. Which is like $5,000 just for that page. So we all kind of pool our money together, and then it advertises Northwest Wisconsin. We have a website, we have a blog, we have a base of people we do direct inbox mailing to. So that's kind of in a nutshell. We meet once a month and kind of strategize. It's a really good organization because we can kind of bounce off ideas, and we know, okay, this worked for this community and this didn't work for that community. We can just do bigger projects. We could do like a Discover Wisconsin episode because there's a bunch of us who can fund it. Does that help you answer that question? Okay. It's actually sponsored by the Wisconsin Counties Association. That's where it comes from.
Any other questions for Ms. Beckwith? All right, hearing none, moving on now to number 9, Northwest Regional Planning Commission report. We don't have anybody there for Northwest Regional, so moving on to number 10, Economic Development Corporation report. Mr. Gardner, the floor is yours.
Thank you. As you know, this fall, in previous reports, we had made a number of, a couple of applications to be involved in some pilot programs that were being initiated at the state level. The first one was the housing. We had applied for the Rural Affordable Workforce Housing Initiative pilot. We were not selected, but WIDA staff reached out to us, wanted to do follow-up. I've done, myself and Sheila Young at the Housing Authority have had 2 Zoom conferences with four different WIDA staff, just sort of giving them more information on our situation. They were introducing us to some staff changes they had at the regional level, and they provided us some resources and stuff to follow up on. So really, I think it's a good indication that they're interested in being successful. We're watching the pilot roll out over this next year, the next coming months, see what applications there are for Sawyer County and Ray. Also, we had the broadband expansion pilot that the state had. We were not selected for that as well. We've been in communication with the Office of Rural Prosperity as a follow-up, and we're closely watching, which there hasn't been the results announced. There was a Rural Digital Opportunity Fund auction. Some players may change as a result of that. We could have some potential for some different coverages by service providers. So we're, monitoring that in communication to look for any prospects. In November, myself and Jessica Wagner-Schultz attended the Tribal Governing Board meeting. That was my first, experience at attending the meeting. It was very informative. As a result, I was able to learn of new hires that they had done. They had, had openings for a while, and so their new grants department director, I've had a number of communications in a Zoom conference with him about prospects that are their priorities in the short term. And also, I've been in communication with their new housing authority director, Gene Fair, who certainly when people get into these positions, they're on a pretty steep uphill climb, a lot of back stuff to do, but getting these relationships established and having contact is the key for the Economic Development Corporation to be able to assist in any appropriate way and try to be effective in helping them meet their goals on a number of different fronts. We had submitted a business incubation market study proposal to the Small Business Development Center through UW Superior. It's been down at their state office. I have had nothing but positive feedback from it, and being told that they are, they put it out to some people to get some prices and stuff. But I'd like to point out one of the unique things about that. It isn't, we haven't requested this all-encompassing business incubator feasibility study. This is really for us to get very accurate, up-to-date market information. And we specifically requested that it be segmented to cover, the greater Hayward, the built-out area of the county, and the reservation in both individually, so that both, we can have a look at some specific data what some prospects might be to develop the kind of system in place to promote economic development and business growth in the county. Once we have that market study in place, we then can begin locally to form some groups to decide what is the best fit. You know, I mean, so many, the history of business incubators, they sort of the field of dreams. If you build it, they'll come. I'm not sure that a place is always the answer. We want to create a county-wide environment for for business development, and one size won't fit all. So you'll be hearing more about that. If for some reason that doesn't happen, there are some other options we're exploring to get that assistance through other agencies and grants. Currently, we secured the funding from both the county, which we very much appreciate, and the tribal governing board. We're in the process of preparing our 2021 budget, and that certainly will include a comprehensive fundraising strategy moving forward into this next year. We are fortunate here in Sawyer County to have the resources that we have in-house, and it'll take some continuing strong partnerships to be effective moving forward. So we continue to develop those partnerships, and so we can understand what others doing, not be duplicative, but supportive, and find those things that we can provide leadership on. We'll be beginning the process in 2021 to contact individual townships, individual businesses, and the various chambers throughout the county to continue to identify partnerships and where we can provide value. We'll be supporting some trainings that'll be coming up, both by the Small Business Development Center. I believe, I don't have the promotional information yet, but I believe they will have a business startup virtual training scheduled in January, and then an entrepreneurship training offered later in the year. The Indian Head Community Action Agency's business development program is also very interested in providing service here in Sawyer County, and we're working with them to find the right niche that fits with everything that's going on. We are certainly watching what is hopefully forthcoming as far as support for businesses and individuals here in the short term and then going into the next year. And we'll be doing many of the same things that we did in 2020 to get the word out and provide support to the individual businesses. We are going to have a transition in a marketing individual, so we're beginning the process of identifying our continued marketing capacity to get the word out and work with others. So we're sad to see the individual we had go, but she really provided us a branding guide and a lot of foundation of which we can continue to build off. Excited by what's ahead. We've got a great board of directors and looking at identifying, as you know, the challenges of scheduling meetings and getting a diverse group of people on the same page. So we're sort of recalibrating all that and look forward to a active and prosperous year ahead. Be glad to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Any questions from the committee for Mr. Gardner? Any questions from the audience for Mr. Gardner? Mr. Gardner, I was aware of your conversation in your meeting with the Tribal Governing Board. One of the things that needs to be clarified, and I need you to have a conversation with Ms. Wagner-Schultz, is the pretext for the meeting with the EDC was under the idea that there was going to be an MOU. The EDC is not a county entity. It is a private entity of which it receives contributions from the various entities. So if there's an MOU discussion that's arising from or being attached to the EDC, that needs to stop because it's going to involve a legal complication on the tribal side because they have gaming dollars that come back off the gaming compact, which is earmarked for economic development. And if the ask from EDC is for any dollars that's under an MOU, you're going to be digging into the wrong pot of money. And the EDC, or the economic development contribution on the gaming dollars for the county side, has been committed. And so the tribe is probably not going to use its commitment. It's 100,000, 50 for the county, 50 for the tribe. So whoever led you to believe, or whoever is making the representation that you're asking for an MOU, you need to clear that up because you're not asking. What you're asking for is a contribution from the entities, and the tribe being one, the county being another one, and you're not the go-between. You don't represent the county. You don't have the ability to obligate the county. And so if you need assistance with that, you can talk to Mr. Hoff, Mr. Roper, or Ms. Roper, or I can have a more definitive conversation with you about that, including if we have to go back in front of the tribal council. All right?
I appreciate that. We'll get it clarified and get things squared away.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Moving on now to future agenda items for the committee members. Is there anything you want on the agenda for the January meeting? Mr. Duffy? Right. Last is any items for discussion only. At the November meeting, we asked that Mr. Pop would come in and talk about the bridge. Wanted to just mainly acknowledge that that bridge is pretty amazing. So if he does have an opportunity, it's going to get busy. You guys are probably looking for snow right now and doing what you can do. Any other matters for discussion only, Mr. Betcher?
No, not at this time.
Mr. Duffy?
No.
Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.